Good evening. Thanks for coming out tonight on this cold evening. I was told yesterday morning that we were going to cancel school today, but that the two things that would continue would be the girls' basketball game and the jazz concert. So, so it's like let's do it. And this is going to kick off tonight. What I believe is going to be a terrific weekend of jazz here at North Allegheny. We have our three fine ensembles here this evening. Tomorrow, some of these students that you'll hear up on stage in the three bands, as well as students from 25 other school districts will be here tomorrow all day to take part in the PMEA Honors Jazz Festival. And that'll culminate with a concert on Saturday at, I believe it's 4 o'clock. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes we're going to do a 4 o'clock concert. So if you're not doing anything and you want to come out, it's $5 to get into that one. PMEA needs to make their cut, so it's $5 to get into that one, but you're going to hear some great music. We have 3 distinguished guest conductors with us for the weekend, for the Friday and the Saturday. Mr. Joe Scheller will be doing Jazz Ensemble 3. He's a local tenor saxophone player, really a phenomenal musician. He's picked a great program. Jazz Ensemble 2 will be under the direction of Mr. Ralph Ford from Troy, Alabama. He's retired band director from the University of Troy, where he conducted, I believe, both jazz ensembles at some point in time in his career. And he's here this evening. He's been here all week with us. Was hoping to work with our kids, but the weather didn't cooperate. But being from southern Alabama, he was enamored with the -25 wind chill factor. So I can't tell you some of the descriptive words that he used for how cold it was. But Mr. Ralph Ford is here this evening, so give him a round of applause for. And in conducting Jazz Ensemble 1 from the state of Maryland, Mr. Michael Kamoff, who is also, like Mr. Ford, an arranger, writer, and composer. Mike has a ton of jazz charts in print. He's actually driving in tonight from Cleveland from the OMEA convention. That's why he couldn't join us early, but he's probably en route as we speak. He was very disappointed because Jazz 1's playing at least one of his charts. I'm not sure if Mr. B's playing any of his charts or not, but we always usually try to fit a couple of his tunes in because they're so well done. But thank you for joining us on this chilly evening, and I hope that you truly enjoy all 3 of our ensembles. The concert should not be a long one with only the 3 bands. So hopefully you can stay for the entirety of the evening and enjoy the artistry of these fine young musicians. So under the direction of Mr. Stephen Baldanzi, we have Jazz Ensemble 3.
This is Jazz Ensemble 3. Our first tune was from the Charlie Parker songbook called Now's the Time. Wow. Well, thanks for coming out with this polar vortex. I'll tell you, I'm walking my dogs this morning. When we went outside, my house inside said 54 degrees, and they did not want to go outside. So it's starting to warm up, thank God. All right, we're going to feature some soloists now. If you look in your program, we're going to do a Clifford Brown tune called The Blues Walk. It's going to feature Ryan on trumpet, Noah on tenor sax, Drew on the trombone, and David on the alto sax. So here is The Blues Walk by Clifford Brown. Up a little bit for the stage part. It's hard for me to hear. All right, we're going to slow things down a little bit. One of my favorite tunes, especially when good old Blue Eyes sing it. So we're going to do a tune called That's Life. It's going to feature Ryan, once again, on the trumpet. All right. We're going to do something from the Freddie Green songbook now. This is called Down for Double. It's going to feature Noah again on the tenor sax, and then Ryan again on the trumpet. Wow, man, Ryan, you got a lot of solos, huh? And I guess, Ryan, right, you're participating. He's one of the ones who auditioned into PMA Honors Jazz for tomorrow. So let's give Ryan another round of applause for that. All right, we got one more tune for Jazz Ensemble 3, but they like to be called Chucky and the Birds, right? Chucky, do you know why we call the band Chucky and the Birds? Because during rehearsal, Chucky's always looking out the window at the birds. Right, Chucky? No? All right. Well, that's just fun jest there, Chucky. All right. Well, we got one more tune to do, original. This is called Blues Mode. It's going to once again feature Noah, and it's going to feature Cole on the trombone, and then Gabby on the drums. So here is our last tune called the Blues Mode. job, guys. All right, give me a few minutes and I'll bring out the next band. Man, am I losing my hair? Bob, stop showing this side of me. That's terrible. Oh my God, I look terrible. Let me get a tempo so I remember. All right, trombone, make sure you get up. Make sure you anchor your stance with your elbows. Struggle with that. Struggle with jazz 3. Ready? Let me just hear rhythm section. 1, 2, and a 1, 2, 3. I guess not. Oh, okay. So this is Jazz Ensemble 2, right? Okay. It's tough when you do all those groups. All right, we're going to do an old standard by Duke Pearson. This is called Janine. It's going to feature Matt, Nate, Logan, Zach, and then Dan. Okay? All right. Backgrounds are... All right, Janine, great tunes. A great tune to start out when we're working on improvisation. It's a nice chord progression for these young guys to work on. So give them another round of applause for their improvisation. All right, continuing on in the Count Basie, Frank Sinatra style, we're going to do an old standards by Sammy Nestico. It's going to feature our sax section. This is The Way You Look Tonight. All right. We're going to feature the band now with no solos. This is a great arrangement. One of my favorite artists, Paul Simon. Remember that guy from the 60s and 70s, 80s, and today, right? So here is one of his tunes by, I guess, Simon and Garfunkel, right? Bridge Over Troubled Water. All right, we're going to kind of do kind of a little rock and roll blues now. Once again, it's going to feature Nate. It's going to feature Eric and Matt again, and Dan, and then little Mikey on the trumpet. So here is an old kind of bluesy type of thing. This is good for improv over, and this is called Coming Home Baby. All right, we got one more to do, and then we'll bring out Jazz 1. Okay, we're doing good on time. Yeah, all right. So there's an old Bobby Timmons tune called Dot Dare. Once again, it's going to feature Eric on the sax, Nate on the sax, and Zach on the sax. I guess 3 saxes. All right, 3 brothers. Here we go. So here is Dot Dare. right, thanks. Band was swinging. All right, so wait, who's doing PMA Jazz tomorrow? Logan, Zach, Jack, Michael. Who else? Jacob. So give them a round of applause because they're going to be playing jazz for the next 2 more days. All right, great guys. So we're going to bring out Jazz Ensemble 1 now. All right, bravo. Take your folders. Let's put it in the room. You guys sounded great.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Grzinski, and I'm the secretary of the NADVP. And we are going to draw our basket, raffle, and the 50-50. And for the 50-50, the winner gets $70. So. And the winner is 359951. 359951. Do we have a winner? Oh, front row. Yeah. Thank you very much. And for the basket with the Enjoy book, let's see. Mrs. Sotzman. Where's, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, the other thing I want to Thank you. That was a tune entitled Blues and More by Jeff Jarvis, and it featured Brett McCutcheon on the alto saxophone. Brett. Also featured Theo DiBiase on the trumpet. Theo. And some unexpected stick juggling by our drummer, Jacob Hollow. Nice recovery. Good job. If I had a nickel for every time that happened to me, I wouldn't have to teach, that's for sure. Okay, I'll do some thank yous now because our bass player has to change over to an electric for this next tune. Certainly would like to thank our superintendent, Board of Education for their support of the arts, principals at both buildings, the head principal here, Dr. John Kreider, and Mrs. Caitlin Ewing down at NAI. Certainly like to thank our music department chair, Bob Tozier, as well as Kevin Zebley for doing stage and lights. Without them, this is sound as well. So give them all a round of applause, please. Also want to thank, of course, our band parents, all of you, for everything that you do for the program, especially our president, Mary Lynn Tesotto. I don't know if Mary Lynn's here tonight or not, but you could give Mary Lynn a round of applause as well. Okay. We set there, Andre? All right, okay. This is kind of a different kind of a tune. It's a funk rock kind of a thing, but written in a very interesting style. It's going to feature Jack Lopazinski on the trombone, Luke Wood on the guitar, and Marcus Murphy on the drums. It's written by a good friend of mine, one of my favorite writers, Alan Baylock. This is entitled 2 Seconds to Midnight. Luke Wood on the guitar. Luke Wood. Jack Lopazinski, trombone. Marcus Murphy on the drums. Nice job on the bass, too, by Andre Lasowski. Andre, nice job. Okay, I don't know, excuse me, I don't know if you've noticed, but one of these things is not like the other up front. I don't know if you've noticed. One of our tenor saxophone players injured himself, his finger, and actually cut part of it off. Yeah, so needless to say, he couldn't play the tenor saxophone. He's going to be able to play again. Matter of fact, he's, I think, only a couple weeks away from being able to play. I don't know, is Gary here tonight? Gary, are you here? Okay. Because I wanted to give him a shout out because he showed up to every single rehearsal, even though he couldn't play. So if he's at home watching, yeah. Shout out to Gary. Malformed finger. So that left us with a quandary, though, because jazz ensemble is a unique beast. Gary plays second tenor. It's the only second tenor part in the book. If there's no second tenor, you're missing chord, things don't sound right. So racking my brain trying to figure out, I got to do something. So one of the first people that came to mind was an alumni of the program, finishing up right at Penn State, majoring in music. She's student teaching now at Fox Chapel. Most well known for her sultry alto saxophone solo in Against All Odds her senior year. I don't know if you remember that or not, but that was quite a moment. So yeah, please give a warm welcome to our guest artist this evening, Claire Tunney. One of the things that I'm very proud of, not only this group, but the other two groups, Jazz 2 and 3, is we've had a grand total of about, 12 rehearsals, 11 rehearsals? It's 12? Jake's counting, yeah. We've only had about 12 rehearsals because we don't start jazz band until marching band's over. So for these young artists to be able to accomplish all of this in this short amount of time, I find to be just absolutely, it's great, isn't it? I mean, yeah. I mean, none of the groups are playing easy literature at all. And I know for Jazz 1, a lot of these are professional charts, just right out of the, the Basie book or the Airman of Note book. And we're going to continue with something out of the Count Basie library, written and arranged by probably, in my humble opinion, the greatest jazz arranger of all time, Sammy Nestico. Sammy was from Pittsburgh, PA, believe it or not, now resides near San Diego, California, a suburb of San Diego, and I know he's at least 90, if not a little older than that, and just a fabulous human being. I message with it'd be his second wife often, Shirley. She's a wonderful lady, and every time we play one of his charts, he's so thankful that we're keeping his music alive, especially in young people. So we're going to continue with one of my favorite Basie tunes off the Basie Straight Ahead album. This is entitled Hay Burner. Oh, it's going to feature our Count Basie, Mia Miller, on the piano. Hey Burner, Mia Miller on the piano. Yeah, those of you that know jazz music can have an appreciation and can understand how difficult that is. And whenever you play a tune like that, in that medium kind of junga, 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 bassy style, right? You have the rhythm section over here. Luke, show them what you do during this is the life of a guitar player right here in a bassy chart. Yep, that's it, the whole tune, right? But you know what? Without that, the bassy band, the guitar player's name was Freddie Green. And you know, that's all. He never soloed, really. I'll never say never, but that was it right there. That's called rhythm guitar. And that's the glue that holds that whole feel together. Chunk, chunk, to call it like chunking along, right? Then you got the bass player and the drummer, just keeping, they should be dead on, just right on the beat, okay? And Mia doing her little bassy stuff, okay? And then the band is just slightly behind. You know, just a tiny, not slowing down, but just a tiny bit behind, so that it gets that laid back swinging feeling. It's a hard thing to teach, but these kids do a wonderful job with it. Please give them another round of applause. All right, we're going to continue with more of a contemporary thing written by a really, really good friend of mine, and he'll be here. He may even be here now at the hotel, Mike Kamoff. He'll be here tomorrow and Saturday. Youngstown State University alum, and now he actually teaches middle school band in Maryland, but he's got his own band called the Mike Kamoff. I think it's called the Little Big Band. He's a fabulous writer, arranger for grade school groups, all the way up through professional level groups. And a lot of his music is going to be featured at the festival, and he's not even doing a lot of it. The other couple directors are. And they selected it before they even knew he was going to be the director. So that shows you, you know, the quality of literature that he writes. I believe this is one of his earlier pieces. I'm not sure, but we really enjoy it. It's kind of starts with a ballad, and it gets into kind of a, I don't know, is it like a bossa kind of a Latin-y kind of feel. It's going to feature who? Brett McCutcheon, right, on the alto saxophone. Again, right? And the head of the tune features Jacob Lasco and Luke Wood, right? You guys play the head a little bit, and then Jake plays at the end. And then we also feature Maeve Wright Smith on the flugelhorn. Yeah, the flugelhorn kind of looks like a trumpet with a thyroid condition. I don't know if you want to hold that up and show them that. Yeah. Very difficult to play in tune, by the way. Very difficult to play in tune. And one more thing I'll say before we continue with this chart. I know you're tired of hearing me talk, because I'm tired of hearing myself talk. But one of the things that these kids have to do, and we had this conversation, is when you played in the bassy band, you played bassy charts all night, every night, okay? Every night, that's what you played. Now, they had varied styles a little bit, but it's still that bassy sound. If you played in the Ellington band, you played Ellington. If you played in the Stan Kenton, you played Stan Kenton. You get what I'm saying? These kids have to go from playing a modern style blues to that rock funk thing, and then all of a sudden they got to turn that engine drive off and go, okay, now we're going to do Hey Burner, yeah, boo ba doo, yeah, ba doo ba, right? Now we're going to do like a Latin bossa tune. So they've got to switch gears mid-performance that even sometimes professional players don't have to do, which is quite difficult to do. And that's not just in this band, but in Mr. Baldanzi's bands as well. So keep that in mind as you hear young students, collegiate and high school students play in a big band. It can become very difficult to do, and I think they do a great job with it. So without further ado, here's Mike Kamoff's Too Soon to Go. Yeah, Jake Losco on the alto saxophone. Luke Wood, Luke Wood guitar. Brett McCutcheon, alto saxophone. Maeve Smith, flugelhorn. Okay, our final chart is one of my favorites. It was my percussion teacher in college, his favorite chart as well. It's entitled Manteca. Does anyone know what Manteca means? It means lard. It really does. It's lard. Dizzy Gillespie wrote this tune with some help from some of his friends a long time ago, and it really has become iconic in this venue of big band literature. This is a fine arrangement done by Mike Tamero, who is the director of jazz studies over at Duquesne. And Mike travels, Mike, I just did the hump day thing. Mike. I didn't even mean to. I'm really tired. When Ralph Ford's here, I get tired. He keeps me out late at night. But anyway, we changed it a little bit. We didn't change the arrangement. We just kind of changed some things to make it structurally more like the Dizzy Gillespie big band arrangement of the tune. And it's pretty exciting. I hope they still have some gas left in the tank for it. We're going to feature right out of the gate here, Andre Lasowski on the bass, Ria Yadav on the tenor saxophone, Theo DiBiase on the trumpet, Mia Miller on the piano, and who's playing drums on this? It's Jake? Yeah. And Jake Apollo on the drums. He does a really nice job with this tune as well. I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. I know it's been a very cold couple days. I tried to assure Ralph Ford that this isn't typical Pittsburgh weather. This is kind of even too cold for us. So hopefully you had a good time tonight. I know I did. It's wonderful artists up here on stage that I get to work with every day. Okay, so we're going to conclude the program with Manteca.
I'll never go back to Georgia. I'll never go back to Georgia. What? I'll never go back to Georgia.
Manteca, North Allegheny Jazz Ensemble 1. Thank you. Hope to see you on Saturday for the PMEA Jazz Concert. Thank you so much.